This diaphragm here that was in there is pretty well on its way out. The way I can tell that is that the circle is not even. I'm going to compare it to a new one to show you. You can see the new one has a very nice circle here, embossed circle. So I will replace all that and rebuild the carburetor. So when it comes time to put it back together, you want to take the two diaphragms that you took out of the carb and match them up to the kit that you're going to use. So the metering diaphragm, which is this one, is pretty easy to match up. You can see that they're both the same. Now in the K10 kit, there's a couple extra diaphragms like I told you. You want to match them up. Don't worry if you've got spare parts. Those kits are made to fit a variety of carburetors. So in this case, it's going to be the blue diaphragm. And you want to make sure that it's exactly the same. So this one here, the blue one, all the holes here and there, they all match with this one. So that's the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to put that aside. So that's the kit here. Now what you're going to need out of this kit too is the new screen, the lever, the pin that holds the lever, and a new needle. Now I'm going to show you how to put this screen back into its hole. What works really good for putting back the screens in is a roll punch. So you want to get a punch that's a bit smaller than the hole that the screen goes in. You can put the screen over the hole, but it's got to go in about a 1/4 inch. So with the roll punch, you just gently push. You want to make sure that the screen is in evenly inside the hole, and that's it. No other special instructions for that. Now your next step is to put the new diaphragm back on. So because I'm just doing this to show you, I'm not going to be replacing the gasket here, but you would want to get the new gasket out of the kit as well, which is this one. Take the old one off and put the new one. Put this here matched up with the two holes, the diaphragm, and then the screw on the side of the throttle again, right, and bring this up. Then you're going to feel it's locked in. It can only go in one way, so don't worry about having it on the wrong side. It will only fit one way. Then you put the screw in and just tighten it. Don't over tighten, but tight enough. There, that's good. Now we've got this side here to do. Now for that side, you want to make sure you still have the parts that you started with. The little spring. The spring is not included in the K10 kit, so you want to make sure you don't lose that unless you've got a spare carburetor to take parts out of. So you insert the needle into the hole, just like that. You want to make sure that the spring's straight. Next, you want to grab your lever with the pin. So insert the needle in the pin like that, and then grab your carburetor. It's a bit tricky here holding the camera and doing this. You want to line up the spring here with the embossed side underneath the lever, how it's beveled there. So I'm going to go like this, put the pin under the screw. If you find it too hard, you can take the screw out. And then I'm going to go and put the hook in the needle, then push down and make sure that the spring is under the embossed part of the lever. If it's not, I'm just going to push it in like that. And you can see it's under there now. Now hold on to that. You don't want that to come apart and the spring fly out. Then you got to look for it. and it can be very difficult to find. So I'm pressing down and holding. There's the other pin on the screwdriver, and I'm going to screw it in. You want it snug, not too tight, because the threads can strip easily. So I'm going to, so that's pretty good. Now this saw here ran, I'm putting back the same lever in, and usually the lever is even with the metal part on the carburetor. It's just slightly down right now. I'm just gonna bring it up just a bit like that, just slightly. So if it's even like that, it should work. If not, Walbro sells a little tool. It's shaped like a W, and this is what it looks like. So with the gasket off, I'm going to put this tool, and because we're working on the WT, it should line up right here. And you can see that the lever is just about touching the center part. It's good enough. From my experience, it works like that. So I'm going to leave that. Now I've got the needle in. You can see by pushing this lever to make sure that everything's solid in there. So next you want to clean this off really good and put your gasket on first. So I've got the gasket on. Next you put the metering diaphragm this way, this part facing the carburetor. You line up the two metal pins into the diaphragm. You make sure straight like that, and then you just reassemble the 4 screws. I usually put this little hole here facing the back. It doesn't really matter. Just line it up. Okay, so I'm just about done reassembling that. I'm just going to snug the screws, then go tighten one screw in the corner, then cross over, just so that it's tightened even, not too tight. There we go. So your carburetor is all back together, rebuilt, and ready to be put back onto the saw.